These two.
And here we are, everybody. This is exciting beyond belief. And by the way, thank you, Red Mage, for existing and being with us. But mostly just for existing, because no matter where you are, things will be awesome.
I bring the awesome sauce at all times.
Yeah, so twitter.com at redmagedr, as well as itsgozu.com. You can see we got the flames and everything in the bottom left, so just be happy about that, because they have really cool graphics, really cool people, and I believe Stoichi is #1 on GM right now, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yep, Stoichi is banking up there, and he hasn't been quiet about it since.
Alright, so now that is Gosu, that is Red Mage, and here we have Koreans playing. We've got Sleep, the green Zerg in the bottom right, going up against Violet, who got picked up by Team Empire literally today. So big congratulations to Violet for that pickup, because that is huge. His ZVT is going to skyrocket faster than it ever has before, because he's got Cass, Beastie, and such other crazy good Terrans on his team now.
Yeah, he sure does. And Empire is just it's kind of an institution, more or less, for a lot of StarCraft players. They're kind of like they're like the Chicago Bears. They're there. They do amazing things. They always have great players, and you just wait to see how their season's going to play out. And I think this year is going to be a good year for Empire.
Alright, so now we are seeing a speedling opener out of Sleep, while Violet is going for a pool first, and probably going to try and get up either an extractor next or a hatchery next, but I'd be expecting one of those. Yep, there's that extractor. So pretty standard opening so far from both of the players.
Yep, pretty standard. Going back and forth. I like what Violet's doing here. Is kind of faking like he's going to steal minerals right there. I like to do that same thing. I always have him go on a patrol path back and forth just so I can get the free scout in there, because I think it's hilarious when they finally spot it, that there's a random drone inside their base. But yeah, now he's going to pick a little fights with the gas miners here, and I hate that when people pick on your gas miners, because then you have to redesignate somebody to it. You're not quite sure how many you've got there. It's ridiculous. But getting the gas one's always a good one, because you can delay that tech just a little bit.
Yep, and now we do see that Sleep has started his metabolic boost, while Violet has not. And every second that your opponent does not have metabolic boost is a second that you have a distinct advantage in the early game of ZVZ. But most importantly, we're going to watch as this hatch is going to be taken by Sleep. Speedling Span is probably the safest, most versatile ability you can do in ZVZ. Violet, on the other hand, does not have his X up quite yet, but he is going to pull back his scouting drone and probably get down that hatch, or never mind, I'm a liar.
Don't you love it when players make a liar of you? Like, how dare you not go by the meta I claim for you, sir?
I like how you put the polite "sir" at the end of that. I'm yelling
Sir.
at you, sir.
Sir.
I respectfully yell at you.
I respectfully decline your opinion, sir. But yes, the Empire's going to go ahead and take his expansion right there. The Queen is being given a what for here by a small group of little Zerglings there. But without speed, they're not really able to get up and move around too much. Sleep is still just kind of doing a little bit of a quick scout. And Violet is trying his best to try to supply block Sleep, but can't seem to knock out that Overlord from the sky. And now it's back to business as usual. A little bit of probing into the defenses and setup there of Empire. Didn't really stem too many results from it, but gives him a little bit of a heads up. Okay, he's got 2 queens right there. He's getting down that expansion, and he's starting to lay down a good framework for a good push here in the next few minutes. Good timing push, put out a little bit of pressure. Now it's my turn to try to do the same thing. And Sleep goes for his Baneling nest right now. It's almost done. He's droning up, really trying to get that economic leap. And lo and behold, out comes the push here between the two.
Yes, now they are going to try and jockey for position. We can see that, Violet tried to regroup and pick off a single Ling, with actually not a little bit of blood has actually been spilled yet. But now we're going to see blood spilled. There we go. But we're all going to see the Banelings. Oh, the Banelings pop. They pop and get some key explosions off.
Huge explosions right there. Good pop off there for that. 7 Banelings coming to fruition there for Violet. Violet popping those up just outside of the natural area of Sleep, and he's got them keyed in to go right into the main. Nothing there to really defend. That Spine Crawler's got another 6 or 7 seconds left before they pop in, and in come the banelings of Violet. He's going to be able to whack into the queens, but not doing a whole lot of damage. It wipes out most of the worker line there. Oh, the last one tried to take down the last 3 drones, but unfortunately dropped only down to 7 health. So they will live to mine another day.
We're going to see a queen picked off over here, but Transfuse might actually save it. Oh, that's a big deal, actually. With these 3 drones in Natural for Sleep are all very vulnerable. Each of them could fall to a single Baneling hit, which is very, very probable in the next minute or two. But we're going to see this one Baneling, never mind, not even close. It just is so slow with its swaggy butt.
I will live. I will not.
Wait, he will.
Oh my goodness, he barely lives with 2 health.
Yeah, he's not going to live for very long, though. There we go, it died.
Oh. Sacrifice for just the one. Sacrifice for the swarm. Unfortunately, did not sacrifice enough, as can normally be said. But yeah, now a little back and forth seesaw action here. Sleep going back in.
Count.
Oh my
sorry,
God.
Violet's drone count's 30, while there's 25 right now out for Sleep.
Wow, that's it. Wow, we see a nice little wallet here by Violet. He throws down the Evo chamber and the Roach Warren.
Yeah, he really does not want to be vulnerable to those Banelings. But now we see him pushing forward, picks off a drone, and will then retreat. But with those Banelings completing, he will need to get out of there.
Yes, he needs to run, Magnum run, because yeah, there's not much. There's not much he can really do with that spine crawler, especially with all those Banelings. There, we could see a Baneling on Baneling hate crime here in just a second.
We are watching them move forward. We do see a couple explosions hitting both those queens. One of the queens is actually pretty close to dying.
Yeah, 29 health right there. No active transfuse now available from the other queen should she choose to try to save the other's life. But looks like she's just going to go ahead for the inject instead. Selfish lady. Ma'am. We're going to see Sleep moving around, checking around for any sort of waylaid Violet Zerg types that might be waiting for them in the deep dark recesses of Antiga Shipyard here, as the double extractors are being put down right now for Violet, who definitely wants to get up all that gas there for some hard hitting ups, as well as some pretty significant tech upgrades.
Yeah. And I'm looking around at these builds, and we have a very interesting choice from both of these players right now in terms of seeing who's going to win against who. Right now, Sleep is going for a huge economy, staying on Hatchery Tech and getting a 3rd base, while Violet, on the other hand, has started his lair and gotten all 4 gases, showing intentions of going Muta. So we could literally have a eco build going up against a damage the eco build, which could be a very, very nice balance to go ahead and try and watch.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, and it's going to come all about control, putting those units where they need to be, and especially getting those ups. Right now we see the +1 missile attacks coming in for both sides. Infestation pit going down for Violet. Love those infestors. We've seen Sleep use the infestors quite effectively in previous games. It looks like Violet finally gets a chance to cap that darn Overlord that's been probing over the left side of the natural base there. So, good get for him. Supplies block Sleep for just a moment, but just a moment is usually all you need just to gain a little bit of an advantage there.
So lair is now done for Sleep. It is done for Violet. As far as the lair tech goes, you're right, it's just the infestation pit out for now. But Sleep has not thrown down anything except for the Glider Constitution. So a huge emphasis on those roaches are going to be out for Sleep, as Pathogen Glands is being researched by Violet.
On that one little Baneling tried to catch up to this huge stack of Violet's Zerglings, but unfortunately wasn't able to make it. Had to sacrifice himself to get just the one, and now he gets it with the follow-up attack. Wow, that was huge.
Yeah, that is a big deal. Very, very nice explosion down there. But now Violet is getting a macro hatch, but not a 3rd base. As you can see in the incomes, it's actually fairly even, surprisingly. We see Sleep is getting a little bit more ahead now that the drones are starting to kick in at the 3rd, 1800 to 1600. So a nice 200 mineral a boost for him, as opposed to Sleep. Yeah, there goes Violet.
Yeah, Violet. Yep. And it looks like Sleep is going to try to take down an Overlord there of Violets and does manage to snap that off. Doesn't manage to supply block him, which just sets him back just a little bit. But yeah, now Burrow's going into effect right now for Sleep. So he's definitely looking to hold on to this Roaches just a little bit longer, as well as getting the Hydra done now. And that is going to be super cool for him because Violet, still stacking on the Roaches, still tacking on the Infestors. But with those Hydras being able to get that such distance attack behind a wall of armored Roaches, that's going to be super, super good for Sleep.
Yeah, and also if you take a look at the path that they're going for the army compositions, it's Roach Infestor versus Roach Hydra. So right now Sleep is working on getting out his 2-1 upgrades, while if you take a look at Violet, Violet has the +1 upgrades done, but is not getting the next set of upgrades. So as far as the DPS goes, we're going to see Sleep with a huge advantage with the addition of those Hydras, and with enough Roaches to tank the damage, then he could really just decimate Violet's army in a surprisingly one-sided fashion, assuming that he actually gets the engagement angle that he wants.
Right, I like the spot here by Sleep too. He's able to pull that army back, meet Violet's head on right on the edge of his own creep there, and with those Infestors now trying to reevaluate themselves, get themselves pushed to the back, and now they're going to push forward, and all that spit and all those spines there from the Hydras. Good fungal growth goes down. Wow, locks down the Hydras. That's huge.
Yeah, but this angle of engagement actually favors Violet because you can see him moving in, actually helping out Sleep by giving Sleep more of an area to actually be able to attack. Violet has the larger area to make a concave of his own, but now Sleep's going to get the defender's advantage and be able to reinforce faster than Violet can, and plus those upgrades, the +1 attack versus the +1 attack, it means he doesn't have that advantage that he really could have if Violet had actually waited. And the +2 is about to finish. It's so close. Oh my god. It's got 1 second left. There it is. After all that battle, and we see Violet with a very, honestly, lucky timing, which is kind of funny because we were watching FXO Lucky before.
Oh, snap.
And aren't these guys going to be playing FXO Lucky in the finals? Look at that. So many puns, even I couldn't keep track of them.
Put it all together, but now Violet's in a real bad situation because now the +2 is up, but also the +1 armor is about ready to finish here for Sleep. So if he can just hold this off just a little bit longer, he's going to get that bulked armor up. It's going to be really hard for Violet to continue this push with the defender advantage for the great things, but also just more and more of these units are just going to be able to fold in, and now you can see what it really does to have all those bonuses right there as the Roach army there of Violet just shreds itself away, and the Hydras are just picking at it left and right. The Infestors, now out of energy, are forced to go, and there's the GG there by Violet.
Yeah, and now here's the thing. I'm pretty sure half the people watching were thinking that I'm a ridiculous human being for saying the Roach Hydra's going to beat the Infestors, but you just saw perfect chain fungals still getting wrecked by the Roach Hydra with upgrades.
Yes.
So I'm not a fool. Yay!